so many people from so many different backgrounds, so many different countries. They're all beautiful in their own way. Uh, so saying that, in a certain way, acceptance is an important thing. And feeling left out, it is a very painful thing as well. And rejection is it's something that a lot of us have to deal with. Uh, but it's never an excuse to bully anyone. I know about rejection. I have felt rejection from birth or even before birth. So I know about rejection, and I would never impose it on other. I because of knowing about rejection, know what it is to feel rejection, and therefore would never do that to someone else. Yes. So you can feel rejected by your loved ones, your family members, just because you were born, and that's nothing to do with color or anything. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about any of the modern stuff going on at the moment. I'm simply saying that you can feel rejection by your loved ones. And sometimes they do this kind of thing, even without trying to be mean. It just comes from a deeper place within them of not knowing. And sometimes when you not know what you're doing, you do these things. Deep inside, you're hurting someone. Deep inside, you shouldn't do it. But because for some people, they're in the trap and in the chains of what was done to them. So they are keeping the chain going. Very simply, it's a chain of not being aware of self, non-self awareness. And this is why it is so important to know thyself. Yes. So as a little girl, I felt very unwelcome, very unloved. Just because my arrival time was deemed the wrong time to arrive. I did nothing wrong, but arrive at the wrong time. Uh, and so it created a snowball effect. And of course, as a child, you pick that up, even without words. But you also pick up on the words and on the way they speak to you. You're not wanted. You're a bad person. You're a bad child. I wish I didn't have you, etc. But you learn to live with it. You learn to live with it, and you go through stages of coping with it in a bad way. Yeah, as you grow older, I did. I went through spouts of self-destruction, etc. Being love and being rejected at the same time. So I was loved and I loved so much, and yet I was rejected and could not understand why, because I didn't do anything wrong. The only thing that I had done wrong was arriving, and so I had a time of self-destruction mission, and on that self-destruction mission. Um, I also had the time of learning, of going within and learning, and actually the compassion, the path of compassion, was actually to understand that those who were doing those things to me had only a short span of their knowingness. of their self-knowing, of knowing what they were doing. And so I started on a path of knowing myself and of compassion, as to be able to not only understand myself but also understanding them, and also uh, acceptance. Because once I understood love, compassion, and acceptance, then I accepted myself. I felt compassion for myself, not sorry. Yeah, that's not feeling sorry for yourself. Compassion and understanding go hand in hand, uh, and also for those involved. Therefore, I could then go on a path of forgiving of them and myself, and therefore the love grow bigger. The love that is called universal love, divine love, grew within me, and that is what becoming the beacon is. You become the beacon because then you become unselfish. You truly become unselfish, and your understanding of things is bigger. So it is kind of important for people to understand, so they do not become, do not fall into a drama fed to them, because everyone has the potential. Everyone has the potential to be the love. Yes, everyone has the potential for being the love. And what do I mean by that? Is everyone has the potential to go within, know thyself, and grow that side within you. Yeah, that is greater than everything else, that surpasses the fear of being alone, because we are here on a lonely path. You arrive alone and you leave alone, but at the same time, you are part of the ocean. You are the drop of the water, but you are also the ocean. You get to know that side, yes? Absolutely, popsicle toes. But it's about becoming aware of these things. Once you become aware of these things, then you walk at peace, you walk in love, and you are uh, that, you transmit that, instead of walking in hatred and walking in resentfulness. You walk in love. And I often speak divine love, and I often speak universal love. In the past, many years ago, I used to speak unconditional love. And I know that most people that talk about unconditional love mean universal love, and do mean universal love and mean divine love. They're talking about that kind of love. What they do not realize is that the word is vibration, and unconditional love bears the vibration of condition with it. So when you have unconditional love word, it bears that vibration. I love. Then you have the I love you, but I love you if. That's why I normally do not talk unconditional love. I talk universal love and divine love. Those are the kinds of love that when you speak of, you do not transmit anything but that. Um, so, and I say this with a lot of care, hence why I indeed explained about why some people talk unconditional love. They do it with full beloved hearts, not realizing that it does bear that um, um, resonance. And indeed, so how many of you have heard those painful words? I love you, but, or I love you if. Uh, And so it is important to have awareness and consciousness, uh, a light lit up within you. So it is a responsibility. It is a responsibility, and that responsibility comes with knowing, with knowledge. And I do not say I am walking knowing or walking knowledge. What I say is I'm walking learning. We are all the teachers, and we are all also uh, the student. All of us have got the potential of learning and also of teaching. Mostly, the greatest potential of teaching is when we share our knowing and thus our experience. And when we do that out of ego, outside of ego, yeah, so not thinking that you know it all, you humbly share the experience, uh, opening yourself up. Yes, because when you share a experience like I do sometimes, you're opening yourself up. Yeah. And when you open yourself up, you are actually being very humble, because when you open yourself up, yeah, there are always people out there that are very willing to cast stone on you and to hurt you. You open yourself up, you make yourself vulnerable. But when you open yourself up out of awareness, in awareness, then that vulnerability is also strength. So why knowing yourself is important? Because when you know yourself and you know thyself, you know your weaknesses, you know your strengths, and your weakness become your strengths too. And you walk in love, and you walk with love, and you share that love, divine love. Yes. And isn't that a beautiful thing? Isn't that a beautiful thing? And I love the people. Let them throw their stones. I like to play catch. I love, 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 beautiful popsicle toes and Jabala 45, welcome. And beautiful Sorry Sunflower and Bat Rabbit and everyone that is listening that shares in. I love the co-creation that we have by sharing, and I love the comments indeed, because that's how we grow. That's truly how we grow. uh, and sometimes uh, we have to have the courage to be vulnerable. We have to have the courage to step out of fear. What is the courage to step out of fear? Is not to have no fear. No, it's to have fear, but step forward regardless. You stand in the power of whom you are, regardless of. Yes? Otherwise, you freeze. You have that frozen reaction in fear that takes you nowhere. You freeze, yeah. You put another chain on your chain, another circle on your chain, and you keep the chain going. So break those chains, but do it with love. Yeah, do it out of love, do it out of compassion, do it out of courageousness, and do it out of feeling inspired. Yeah, and beautiful popsicle toes. She inspires me. She's truly an inspirational being. She's been also through a lot, but she dedicates herself in giving. She makes sure she plants things, thinking about the bees, thinking about the birds, just not thinking only of herself, of her pleasure. She's thinking about the coexistence that is all of us. And all of us is us, the plant life, the animal life, so the animal kingdom, the plant kingdom, uh, us, the human beings, uh, the planet Earth, who is a living being too. So people like Popsicle Toes and many others here are beautiful co-creators, are beautiful, amazing soul spirit who do things without a selfish thought. It is a giving from the heart, and that is something that creates inspiration. Yes. Uh, Oh, that's beautiful. I love blue jays. Yes. And I do that too, popsicle toes. And, I do. And it is wonderful to see nature coming and sharing with us, isn't it? And absolutely, solitude is the greatest teacher when it comes to developing strength of mind. Yes, Sarah is Willow, very true. Because solitude is being alone without feeling lonely. Actually, it's knowing, it's working on thyself, it's going within, and you can be alone without feeling lonely, and also you can be surrounded by people and feeling very, very alone. So all of these things are important, and the sharing, the true sharing is important. Yes, and when you share from the heart with Mother Earth, with the animal kingdom, and you are giving, and you are creating a better place. Yes, and there's nothing better than that kind of giving. There's nothing better, and I mention it because I find it important to mention it, because so many people only mention the drama, and I understand sharing the drama too. Yes, I'm not putting anyone down when I say this. Everyone has got a place, and everything has got a place. Yes, so some of us do a hard work of sharing all the bad stuff that is going on, but it is also important to have some of us sharing the love that exists, the good vibration that resonates. Uh, so to share and to show that there is balance, that there is love, that there is beingness in existence, that is not all negative. So we know these things, yes? And it is so important, yes? Absolutely. Most of us choose life. How beautiful. How beautiful is that? Yes. And the love we are and the love we share is so important. Yes. It's so, so important. So, you know, now when we share these things, yes, and we share them in the writing of a chat room, and we share them in a show that we do, it is also important. Yes. So we have beautiful beings that share things, either one side or the other. Everyone is sharing. Uh, but it is important, the sharing regardless. So stay centered. Uh, Stay centered. Stay in that love resonance. Yes. Do your prayers, do your meditation. Um, do grounding. Grounding is so, so important, yes? Our focused energy beam can have the butterfly effect and start a big change. It only takes a tiny ripple in the pond. Very beautiful, Jabala 44. Very, very beautiful. Wonderful, sweetheart. I love that sharing. And it is very true. Very, very true. All of these things are important to share, yes? As more so now than ever, where everything at the moment seems to be so shaken, where people think it's the end of the world. No, it's not, but it may be the end of an era and the beginning of another. Now we have to obviously take care as to make the right choices, to be the co-creators of the new era. Yes? So create with love, create out of love, create out of consciousness and awareness, but create. Go out and sow your seeds of love, sow your beautiful sunflowers, sow all the beautiful plants that create life and give life. Yes? And sow seeds of love every day. Even if it is a smile in the right place at the right time can change someone's life. Someone sometimes can be sitting down there feeling not noticed, not worthy, totally alone. And you go by and you acknowledge it by smiling at that person, by resonating love at that person. Yes? And in just that motion, just that one smile, just that one simple focused energy beam of resonance, you may have saved a life. You may not be aware, but just by being that beautiful self that is you and acknowledging that someone is there and smiling at that someone, you may just have saved someone's life. You may just have been the turning point for that someone. You may be the seed, yeah, for that person. The water in the oasis for that person, yes? The oasis in the desert for that person, yes? So be beautiful every day. Don't allow for fear, despair to knock you off, because fear and despair will knock you off. But don't allow that. Know that fear and despair will do that. And if it sometimes does that, become the observer, and then you can shake it off. Learn whatever it is that it brought to you, and it makes you that little bit stronger, that little bit more inspired to be that water in that oasis in the middle of the desert. Yes, that someone is in dire need of finding. Yes, be that, but be that in joy. Don't feel like you have to take it so serious that takes the joy out. Joy is very important. Joy is what feeds that resonance that is you, that makes your thyroidic field grow outwards and makes it strong. So joy is very important. Joy is what feeds the love. Joy is love. Joy is the thyroidic field growing up. Joy is the reaction of the pebble in the pond that resonates outward. Joy is you and me with a smile, uh, skipping like a child, because we are the children that are willing to skip and dance into the kingdom.